This is Vincent Tedeschi. This is my presentation, my cultural experience, flavors of Mexico for Communications 263. The cultural experience I'm going to talk about today is the time that I visited a restaurant I've been going to my whole life called Garcia's. This is where I really noticed a cultural change. It's a very authentic, family-oriented Mexican restaurant where I basically know all the workers since I've been coming here as a kid. Even though I've always loved the food, I'm just now beginning to see how much culture is expressed through the decorations, music, and the way everyone connects like family. The experience helped me see the deeper values of Mexican community that were around me all along. Since I've been going here as a little kid, I just, really realized that since taking this class that there's a lot of things that separate this from any other restaurant, and it just really establishes that it's a Mexican restaurant. And it's crazy to just to see how you can look at things differently just by learning, taking the class. The time I attended was during the evening. It was pretty cool. I mean, I like the vibe there. There's some nice music going on. Everyone's laughing, talking. Everyone's there with their family. I had went with my younger brother. My waiter was an old Mexican lady, and since it's family oriented, like the workers are all family. I know them. Been knowing them since I've been little. They know about my schooling. They know about everything that's going on, which is very cool. I had my waiter. She's an older lady named Maria. Very nice lady. Her husband and her own the shop or the restaurant, which is nice. Throughout my dinner, I had seen a lot of Mexican and white families. The restaurant is in a good location, available for all races. And I say that because it's not in a predominant area where it would just be white or Mexican people. I feel like it's kind of in the midst of Phoenix, and great location for all races. My visible reaction was it was really nice. I seen some flower water fountains. I have a hard time describing what that is, but it looks like a water fountain. There's a lot of Mexican objects on the wall. And when I say that, I mean more of like a Western atmosphere. There's a lot of cowboy stuff. There's a lot of just older Mexican decorations. One thing that really stuck out to me in this place was the tunnel. I really enjoyed the tunnel because I felt like a lot of the heritage was implanted through the tunnel, like all the old pictures of just the groups and the restaurant up and coming. And I think I really enjoyed that, actually, just watching that. And that this is also another thing that really made me realize the cultural difference between this and another place. The Los Chandeliers also were really nice to me. I really thought those stood out to me. It just kind of gives it a Western vibe, along with the music playing. The music was some Mexican music, older Spanish music, slow, more on the slow end. Great place to be. My reaction to the visible culture. The food is super colorful. Lots of red salsa, guacamole, cheese, and sour cream. As you see, I got tacos that night. That's my favorite thing to get, tacos and rice. I love the rice there. The rice is amazing. And, you couldn't start without an appetizer. The chips and salsa. The salsa there is amazing as well. They use a lot of traditional stuff like tortillas, beans, rice, and hot peppers. The plates are big. They give you a lot of food. To me, that just makes me realize and makes me think that they really care about feeding the people very well. They add toppings. The toppings, what you like: cheese, chopped onions, tomatoes. I love tomatoes. The menu are in Spanish. Uses Spanish words like tacos, enchiladas, and carne asada, which shows the foods like the Mexican roots. Instead of, you would go to like a Taco Bell and it would say tacos, but just it's not all the authenticated food. You can see how it's cooked as well. It comes to you very hot, steaming. Smells really good in there. It smells like food all throughout there as soon as you open the door. Grilled meat, fried tacos, or slow cooked dishes, traditional style. They bring out. My brother actually had got an enchilada, but it came out smoking on a steaming plate, which is very cool. I thought the presentation looked awesome. The invisible culture elements. Family is super important to Spanish people. They stay close to their parents and grandparents and cousins, and I know that from this restaurant because all their, the workers are family orientated, which is very cool. The food definitely brings people together, and celebrations are colorful and loud, like the Day of the Dead and quinceañeras. I really noticed that about Spanish culture, and something that stuck out to me when I was reading through my passage. It said human beings do share some universal habits like eating and sleeping, and I thought this is a very big cultural thing because it's crazy how culture could bring a lot of different races together with food, just like this restaurant does. The reactions to the invisible culture, I liked how they valued family, made the environment feel warm and welcoming. Their respect for tradition showed me how connected they are with their history. The history they follow, it's like they have a strict, they follow all the history and all the religions and throughout the restaurant. You can just see it's embedded, all the old ways. The invisible connections. Some visible connections of their culture. I seen that the colorful decorations were all over the restaurant, and bright walls. Traditional Mexican dishes like tacos, enchiladas, and rice were served, and I think they were served with care. And I put care because I think that they put a lot of effort into making that. The invisible culture, the decorations show how Mexican cultures value celebration, joy, and how they articulate themselves. The way food was served shows a strong respect for tradition and hospitality, and especially hospitality. There was about 2 servers that came up to us when they served the food. We didn't order a lot of food. They just showed us that they cared and they were present, and they kept on checking in on us every time we were down there. My final reflection of the whole restaurant, visiting Garcia's Mexican food really helped me experience a culture different from my own. I am Muslim, so I'm more on the Arabic side and the Arab food. I saw how important family, tradition, and communities are to Mexicans. The Mexican culture, the decoration, food, and music all showed pride and joy. This project also helped me understand and respect their values a little more. Going there as a little kid, I never really understood and even realized how the difference between a culture and just decoration, and I really respect it more now, and I'm able to notice it wherever I go, especially when I went here. Everything stood out to me a little more than it did as a child. But yeah, thank you guys for listening to me. This is my Project 3, and this is Vincent Tedeschi. Bye-bye.